a myriad of things. So I think first of all, we have to go back to
writer. You are very well known for your teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about you.
Miss Nigeria competition.
And I said, let's pick them up, let's take them back to Nigeria, and let's teach them a different kind of job.
A real woman is one who does not rest until the entire society is at peace. Yes, and those are the kind of women we showcase on this platform. My guest today is very much like that woman. She is a philanthropist. She's holding tight her own ground in the educational field. She is known well for what she's doing in the spiritual world. Like I said, she's a philanthropist with an exceptional quality. She's also an artist, and of course she's a wife and mother. But let me take a pause, return right back and showcase the guest. My name is Elizabeth, and of course the show is The Woman. My guest is one that you may have heard of, and one who you may have, maybe one way or the other, have relationship with. She is Pastor Julie Onowviona. Thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Okay, I want to fire the first shot. I ask you, how is Edith?
How did you know about Edith?
Well, the things you do, you think they are hidden. They are not actually hidden. They get to spread. Someone told me about Edith, and I said I'm going to find her. In fact, the person wanted to know how Edith is and said I should ask you the question. So I decided to answer that question right away. I hope you're watching. All right?
Yes, Edith is very fine. She just graduated from college, preparing to go to the university. She's going to be reading law at the University of Abuja. We are processing her admission already. She should resume by October by God's grace.
I feel you should share her story with the world.
Thank you very much. Well, about 9.5 years ago, I had my last baby, Faithful Onowviona, and I needed a house help to help, to take care of the baby and the home. I was actually expecting an adult. It turned out to be about a 6-year-old girl. I insisted he had to return the baby back. While they were going out of my house, my very close friend, Chief Mrs. Aluko, came in to greet the baby. And while she was coming in, she saw the Edith weeping, and she felt concerned. But after she spoke to me, I prayed about it, and I decided to allow her stay. It turned out that my baby felt so much in love with her. Up till now, she doesn't know Edith is not her sister. So we decided to put her in school. So along the line, about 5 years after, the woman that gave her to my twin brother requested that we bring her back. That somebody delivered twins in those states, and they wanted her to come and take care of the twins. So I told the woman that she was in school already. They said no, the parents instructed that they didn't send her to Abuja to come and school. They sent her here to come and work. So I called her and I told her, do you want to go back? She said no, she wants to continue her education. I should please. So I told them that after about 2 weeks, I told them that she ran away from my house. But I confided in 1 or 2 people so that in case it backfires, then I now put her in the boarding school so that they won't know her whereabouts. So, but when she was about graduating, I just thought of it that she needs to tell her story to the world. Yes. And I've been preparing her towards that. I told her that she needs to have an NGO of her own, go back to her root and reach out to people there. And because I learned the father had 17 of them, all of them are house helps. And once they are 15, they are giving out in marriage. On the day of graduation, I decided to get back to the woman that gave her to my twin brother. So she was able to trace one of the brothers. I lied to them that I found her, and presently she was with the police. So when we finished the whole program, I told them that okay, they should wait somewhere I want to bring my daughter to come and greet them. So I brought her. I introduced her to them as my daughter, that I just wanted them to know her. So they greeted. After they greeted, they stopped. Even at that point, they did not recognize her. So it was at that point I broke the news and said, "This is Edith."
Wow.
So they started.
I wish a lot of us Nigerians will get to copy this and give a helping hand, because if we all can pick one child each from different communities, we'll be able to change Nigeria. Because a woman educated, in fact anybody educated, you have empowered the person for life.
Yes.
So that's the story of Edith. I'm glad I finally heard it from you to the fullest. Now I want to know. I recall a certain point in time you were trying to have children, and it was quite a tour for you. And eventually God answered your prayer. But I'm wondering, let me start by asking you to speak to women who are at the moment having challenge with childbearing. Give them a source of hope before we continue.
Well, waiting for the fruit of the womb is not an easy thing. It's a time of pains, a time you have to look back and ask yourself questions. Did I really commit any offense that others didn't commit? And also, with the kind of a lifestyle I had, I was not a promiscuous person. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why my husband declared to marry me was because we didn't have sex before we got married. So when I now came in, pregnancy was not forthcoming, it became a big problem. So there was nowhere I didn't go to. I went to herbalist, because people took me to herbalist, just trying to make sure that it happened. And nothing happened. My mother was an Igbe worshipper. One day she brought the Igbe priest all the way from Edo State to Abuja to come and profess solution. Mm-hmm. And when that one came, it gave me something that I incited into my vagina, that after that I would become pregnant after 1 month. 4 days I couldn't stand, I couldn't sleep, I went through a terrible ordeal before that thing came out, and nothing happened. And so friends took me to the white garment churches, where I was told to bathe in the stream in the middle of the night. And while I bathed, after bathing, I had to use my back to walk back because I must not look back. I did that, nothing happened. Another one took me to a place where they gave me 59 incisions on my back. I went through pains. After that, nothing happened. So many places. I even had to, somebody took me to Calabar side, where they believe that if you are still trusting God for the womb, once they do this, their massage for you, stomach massage, within 2 weeks you become pregnant. I almost died. Nothing happened. I went to another place where the herbalist said I must eat 7 boiled eggs within 1 minute.
7 boiled eggs?
7 boiled egg within a minute. I did.
Were you able to do it?
Of course, because I was desperate to have a child.
How did you eat 7 eggs in 1 minute?
I was just swallowing without even chewing it. So it was as bad as that. Very terrible. Then what really broke the camel's back was the final news. When after going through all kinds of hospitals, all series of tests here and there, and the doctors finally declared, they said, "Madam, you don't have fallopian tubes." That day, I almost, it was as if the ground should open his mouth and swallow me up. But thank God for my husband. He was there for me. He told me not to worry. Don't worry. Whether children or no children, we'll be together. And that was what happened. And that made me to think back on all what I've gone through and resulted to falling back on God. I went back to God and started serving Him committedly and dedicatedly.
I
And
guess that's how you started your pastoral.
my pastoral work, yes. I was just nominal Christian before, even though I was a chorister, I was still involved in all those fetish things and deceiving myself. But when I let go everything, when I saw that there was no hope anywhere again, I went back to God with the whole of my heart, submitted to Him, and left everything to Him. Well, if you like, give me children. If you like, don't give me.
And that's when you started having children.
That was when I went for a program, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and a word of prophecy came that there's a woman here. You've been told you don't have fallopian tubes, but God said I should tell you I am giving you a spare part. And I key into that word 7 days after I became pregnant. So for those waiting for the fruit of the womb, they are trusting God for pregnancy. Hold on to God. I sought men's reports. It never worked. I went to hospitals. Nothing happened. But when it was God's time, He decided to remove the barrier and gave me a child.
My guest today is an exceptional woman. Now, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm sure there's still a whole lot more to unfold. And with all that you have said, I want to go into your personal life a little bit, maybe your educational life a little bit. I know that Lavok International is one school that you talk about in Abuja, and everybody recognizes their qualities. How did you get to that dream?
Well, the journey started when we became pastors. Along the line, we were transferred to that Axis to start a branch of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. That was about 23 years ago. And myself and my husband and 4 other families were transferred there. In those days, Kurudu was a Fulani settlement area. No amenities, no hospital, no water, no roads, nothing. And so we were like missionaries there. But the problem we had then was communication problem, because I couldn't speak Hausa or Bagi, then they couldn't speak English. So reaching out to them was very, very difficult. I could not really preach the gospel that took us there to them. It was very, very difficult. So I needed to either learn their language or they learn mine. And so one of the days while we were on evangelism, the Holy Spirit just laid it in my heart. Why don't you start a school, a free school, where you teach them how to read and write? And that was how the vision came. I told my husband, and he said, well, the church stress is enough, but if you know you have the grace, go ahead. So he gave me the grace. And then I was working as a teacher with government. I was a mathematics teacher with government secondary school. So with that, I made up my mind, since my husband had given me the go ahead to start a school. So I started looking for a rented apartment, which I got, and I started with about 5 children. It was a free school. Just come and learn how to read and write. Free uniform, free books. I was using my salary to do that. And gradually, the children were multiplying. And after some time, I was able to they were able to read and write, and gradually the evangelism was spreading, the church was growing. And one day a friend came in and saw the population and said, Sister Julie, this is a school already, why don't you start a normal school? Then that lady now said, I have a plot, this plot beside the church is my plot, but my children said they will never come to this village, that she wants to relocate to another location. That was how we bought that one plot. Yes, so we used local blocks to to erect the 5 classrooms, and my pastor came and dedicated it, and that was how we started.
And now you have magnificent blocks.
All to the glory of God.
And you also have a large population. What's the population strength now?
By His grace, we're about 800.
Wow.
And we hope to be over 1,000 this September by His grace.
And on top of all of that, you still find time to, do your ministry in the singing world.
Yes.
I saw your album you released the other day. And then I also know that this coming Friday you're releasing.
Tomorrow another one is coming out.
You're coming out with another album completely.
Yeah.
All right. Can you give us a little bit of what is in the album?
Well,
what are we
the one
expecting to
I'm
see?
going to release tomorrow, the title is He Kept Coming For Me. Despite all my shortcomings, despite my past,
He kept coming for me.
He kept coming for me.
I think you're telling the story because I see you wanting to cry now. All right, I don't want you to spoil your makeup. You want to sing it for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, before I go into the singing, I just want you to know that no matter your past, no matter where you are coming from, no matter the mistakes you must have made, God is waiting for you. And
you're getting me very emotional. It's okay. It's okay. I can give you support. Thank you.
no matter your past, God can turn everything around. And that's what my story is all about. I came from a very poor background. I had to be a house help for me to survive, even as a little girl. But God turned everything around. I'm a success story, all because of God, despite my past. And that's why this song is coming at this time. It kept coming for me.
A lot of times our emotions get to override us. I'll be right back, don't go away.
He kept coming for me. You kept coming for me. Even when I didn't know him, he kept coming for me. He kept coming for me. He kept coming for me. Even when I didn't know him, he kept coming for me. You look behind my past. You look behind my sins. Hey, you look behind my mistakes. You kept coming for me. What manner of love is this you showered on me, even when I am not deserving you? He kept coming for me.
Don't worry, I wish I could help you. But I don't know how to sing.
This God is such a faithful God. So no matter your past, just lay them at the feet of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not qualified, but He qualified me despite all odds. And He's still there to solve every of your problems.
Sure.
Just keep faith.
And in solving your problem, I love the fact that you still find time to relate, you still find time to associate. And you're a lover of life. Because I know that when you turned 60, yes, not too long ago, you had fun.
Yeah.
And how does it feel like being 60?
Yes, in my mind, I'm just 40.
Ah.
Yes, in my mind, because age is in the mind.
Someone once told me, I think Mrs. Erufai, she said 60 is the new 40.
That is it. It's a new 40. For me, it's a new 40. And I still do what I used to do. And I want to do more by His grace. you set your mind to be 60, then you start acting like 60. And that's why you see most retirees, once they retire from service, active service, they allow that to take over their minds. At the end of the day, 2 years after, you hear they are having diabetes, arthritis, stroke, and everything, because the brain is not busy, the mind is not busy. So for me,
talking about brain being busy, I know your brain is a very busy one, because the other day I stumbled on a book and I was surprised. The author was actually Julie Onowviona, and I asked, is it the same Julie? They said yes. How did you go into writing?
well, sometime about 10 or 11 years ago, we had a program, and my pastor brought in a resource person from Lagos. And the man said, a lot of us are whiling away our time. We are so loaded, but we are in penury because we are not using our stories. And that was how it started. And since then, I've written about 22 books.
22
By the
books.
special grace of God. On how to make money. Like the best-selling book I've written is Money is Everywhere. That one was written about 9 years ago. Then they were constructing the Karishi Jikwe Road. And this, I think they were Lebanese. Yes. They came, they were the one constructing the road. And when they got to my school, I was like, I chatted with one of them. So while we were chatting, right there was picking stones in front of my school. He said, this is money, this is money, this is money, this is money. He said, Nigeria, you have money, you are sitting on money, but you don't know. He said, in my country, we don't have things like this. So he picked about 10 or 12 of the stones and was telling me the names of the stones and how they use the stones to make jewelries and other things. So right there while we were discussing, I got that inspiration. Money is everywhere. And that was how I wrote that book, Money is Everywhere.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Now, without meaning to, delve a little bit more, I want to know, how do you relax? Because you're very busy.
Yes, I'm busy, but in the morning, early in the morning, I go for my work. I eat good food. I eat right. Then when I'm less busy, I go to I register in gym. I go for swimming. I do sauna and all those stuff. Then twice in a month, I go out with my husband to eat out, maybe fish market. We just go there, relax for like 3 hours, gist, eat fish, and
You're so attached to your husband, because I see your picture with him everywhere. I'm wondering, what is this man going to ever do to you to get really angry? Have you ever been angry with him?
we quarrel a lot. Serious one.
He doesn't show.
In fact, my first 10 years was a blunder. It was so bad that I made up my mind to divorce him. To separate. But along the line, the Holy Spirit told me something, 3 things. He said, if you are ready to play the fool in this marriage, I will take you to where eagles fly. Playing foolishness. Even when you know that you are right, and this man is claiming, yes, I'm the head of the home, and he's stepping on my, on my rights. Just play the fool, play the mumu. When you play the fool, I will give you the grace that nobody can give you. That was the one thing he told me. Then number 2, before then, I used to believe that once you are married, the man is solemnly responsible for everything about you. He will buy a car for me, buy a house for me, give me the best. But I discovered after marriage, it was not so. And being a civil servant, even this salary was not taking care of him, not to talk of taking care of me and the children. So if you look at Genesis chapter 2 from verse 19 downward, the man did not ask for a wife. It was God that saw that there was a need for the man to have a wife so that the man can be complete. Okay. So when I got that revelation that I am there to fill the those areas is not covering up, then I sat up, I asked God to give me the grace, and He gave me the grace. I can work 48 hours if there is anything like that. A woman can do so many things at the same time because the grace is there. But it's so unfortunate that women don't know that we have that grace to turn the world around.
True. While you talked, I was quickly reminded of the saying my father often used to tell me, that it is the man who is wise, the wise man that is alive to point at the grave of the brave man, because the brave man will do gra-gra, but the wise man thinks. And I think that's the way women should operate. We should be able to use our heads. As much as the men are considered macho, we are still the very strength of the man.
Yeah.
The woman's strength remains the strength of the man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And if you're a woman who's been listening to us, don't forget that your husband might look macho, your husband might look very strong, but his strength is actually in you. Help him to get stronger.
Yeah.
We'll be here again next week with another exciting personality. Whatever you do, learn from my guest today, and my guest has been Pastor Mrs. Julie Onowviona. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
See you again. I am Elizabeth, by the way.